Welcome back to the channel. Behind me, you see a beautiful, well, somewhat, 1996 F150 4x4 inline 6. Now, it needs a bit of work. I just picked this truck up, and I like having a truck around. It's handy, it's convenient, and also we have 3 grown kids with their own homes that don't really need a pickup truck, but it's nice to have one in the family, so they all have a set of keys, they all know how to drive it. Yes, they all can drive a manual transmission. That's great. And it'll be great for teaching the grandkids how to drive a manual transmission as well. But in the meantime, let's go take a look under the truck. Just bought this truck. Let's do a bit of an inspection to see what we're up against and what you'll be seeing in future videos. Before we go under the truck though, let's do a quick walk around, see what we have in our hands. So we have a beautiful chrome bumper with a nice hole in it. Yeah, so we'll need to replace that. It has a hitch on the front. Now, this truck can actually be pulled behind the bus, so we might be converting that hitch into a place to hook up and be able to pull this behind the bus should we ever need to have it, a pickup truck behind the bus. Now, as we go down the sides, paint's looking pretty good. According to the previous owner, it has been washed in about 10 years. It is an aftermarket hood, so you'll notice the fit isn't the greatest. I have a stock hood here that I might just swap onto it before we repaint it. A bit of rust on the fenders, not too bad until you get here. And this is actually the worst part of the whole truck. This fender, if I can find a patch panel for the bottom, great. If not, I'm gonna have to find another fender and bolt it on there. Taking these fenders off is not exactly an easy thing. There's a lot of bolts, there's a lot of things. You have to take the whole front end apart before doing that. But if we do repaint the truck, and I'm pretty sure we will, we'll be taking care of that. Now, front calipers look brand new. So do the lines, so that's a bonus for us. As we go down the side, the inevitable cab corner is actually not bad. These, normally the cab corner is rotted out. This one, yes, it has surface rust, but there's no glaring holes in it. The paint, as you can see, is very dull and scratched. There'll probably be some videos on the DIY channel as to how to polish this up. Even though we're going to repaint it, we are going to use it for content there. Now the rear fender wells, same thing, a bit of surface rust, not bad. Large brakes, it's got the helper springs. Shock absorbers are looking old, but they're still there. Around the back, tailgate is nice and straight, fits. Yes, there's the odd little bump on it. Not a big deal. It is, after all, a 30-year-old truck. Down this side looking straight, and you'll notice the body line there is actually not bad in the sense of the cab matches up with the box, which is sometimes not always there. Again, a little bit of rust here. There is a hole down here. Nothing dramatic. For the price we paid for this truck, not a big deal. When we go down the side here, again, cab corner is nice and solid. Door has had some Bondo in it at some point, so we'll need to take care of that. Front fender on this side is much, much better. Not too concerned about that. And then the front end, well, of course, it's got the traditional bumper droop. You'll notice that the bumper is not lined up with the body panel. That's common on these trucks. Headlights could use a bit of work. The grille was plasti dipped at some point. But nonetheless, nice clean truck. Let's take a look inside. Inside we got a bench seat that isn't ripped. It's got the headrests on it. It's got the modern light. I would have liked the standard chrome light that they had from, what, 1960 on up? But 1996, they went to this plastic thing. If I can find one of those chrome ones, we might have to swap it in. Just a nostalgic. It has cruise control. Does it work? Not yet, but it has cruise control. 5-speed manual and air conditioning. Again, does it work? We don't know yet. We'll figure that out eventually. You'll notice something missing here. It's missing the rear view mirror. The rear view mirror is on the seat. Not exactly the best place for it. The floor is the standard black rubber floor. We'll be cleaning this whole interior on the, again, the DIY channel. more appropriate for that. And people are always asking us for interior cleaning videos. This one hasn't been cleaned in a long time, very long time. The owner that had it before us bought this truck in the early 2000s. It's been a farm truck since, and it hasn't been washed since he bought it. So it's been about 20 years since it's seen a bath. Not too bad, actually. Now, let's take a dive under and see what it looks like underneath. As we come in on the passenger side, this is the front wheel well. You'll notice it's got quad shocks, so 4 shocks at the front, twice the value. Apparently a better ride. And you'll notice way in there, we got a brand new oxygen sensor, so that's nice to see. Again, new brake lines, new calipers here. The fender corner is not as bad as the other side. This is easily treatable, so we'll be taking care of that. Starting underneath, let me flip you around here. So here we have the rocker panel, which is nice and solid, no holes, the way we like to see it. The floor itself, again, nice and solid. Cab mounts are looking good. The cab mounts themselves, the rubber pieces, we're probably going to change for some silicone pieces from S&B, just to give a nice ride. Down the frame, everything looks solid as well. We have some dirt here to get rid of, but nothing a few minutes with a pressure washer won't take care of. Going to the center, we have the transfer case, and the plugs don't look like they've been too beat up. Gas tank, and the gas tank is not leaking. It has been patched, as we can see, but it holds the fuel. That's what we like. Rear cab mount is looking a little worse than the front one there. There's that piece of dirt. Missing an exhaust hanger here. Not that big of a deal. There's some silicone hanging out between the transfer case and transmission, telling me that they've been apart at some point. We have the rod mechanism here for the transfer case, and it seems to work well. We have had it at 4-wheel drive. Transmission mounts looking not too bad. We go forward, transmission. This one has a hydraulic clutch. It still has the hole here for the manual clutch arm, should it be so equipped. This is a Mazda-made transmission, so it's a 5-speed with overdrive. The front drive shaft, I don't think that grease fitting has been used in some time. We'll have to remedy that. Front axle, this is what's called a twin traction beam, meaning it's an independent front end, even though it has the axle here. So the axle itself, which is a Dana 44, pivots from here, and then the other side pivots from over there. So if I back you up, you have one pivot here and one pivot over there for the opposite side, giving you the longest arm possible, meaning your camber doesn't change too much. These are notorious for having worn out tires, so it does change once in a while. Transmission tunnel looking good on the passenger side all the way back. On the driver's side, it's not the same story. We have some very bad rust there. And when we flip over to the other side of the frame, yeah, we got a hole in the floor. So the floor on this side will need to be reworked. Sorry for the funny angles here, but we do what we can. Cab mount, again, not looking bad. Now the steel cab mount that the rubber isolators go on is nice and solid. I've seen a lot of trucks where those are rusted out. Again, the rocker panel looking solid all the way through. Frame's a little flaky, but it's solid. No chunks missing. Coming to the back. Under the box, the 2 front beams are actually looking really good, which is not normal for these. They're normally rusted out, but these are nice and solid. Brake cables have been changed recently by the looks of it, and they look to actually work. So the parking brake will work on this. Inside of the box side looks good. It's had a rust treatment at some point, which seems to have done a bit of help. It's not perfect, but a lot better. Tank straps, looking okay. Now, this truck had the handling package on it. That's why we had the quad shocks at the front, and we have a sway bar at the back. So always fun to see that. Give us a little better handling, cornering ability. And the box beam up there, though, let's get a closer look. Behind the axle is not looking so hot. So that's something we're going to have to take care of. And the lines coming from the rear tank seem to be caught up in that beam. We'll have to make sure they're going the right way. The rear tank does work, but it does leak fuel, so it will need to be replaced. Hint, hint, another future video. So yeah, so that rear beam is not looking great. Neither is this beam right above me. The center of it's okay, but the rest of it isn't, which means we'll have to take the box off the truck. Not that big of a deal. Flip it over and repair those beams. We won't replace the whole beam since most of it is still in good condition. We'll see once we get it off, but it should be okay. The floor of the box looks great. No holes, nothing there. Cross members are looking good and solid. So are the spring mounts. These are items that go out a lot on these, are these spring mounts. It's got the helper spring there. We will eventually be mounting air springs here just to increase the load capacity should we ever need it. And these big mud flaps here probably help contribute to the fact that this is too beat up back here. The rear bumper, it could be a little better. Spring mount, still nice and solid on this one. It's got a very, very heavy duty rear hitch, as you can see. So I'm not concerned about pulling a trailer with this. Swinging over to the other side, spring perch looks good. The bushings, they'll need to be replaced, but the rest looks pretty good. There's a connector nut there. I'd like to know why they put a connector nut there. Is that the only nut they had, or was there a purpose for it? Let me flip you around, looking towards the front. Brake lines are new, including the flex line, which is good. The vent for the axle right here is going up where it should. So we know the axle hasn't had a lot of water in it, which is nice. Backing plates are looking a little funky, a little rusty, but we'll probably change those one day. Again, that beam up there, you can see how the center section's pretty good. And then when we go on the other side where the shock is, ooh, we're missing some of it. So those bed floor beams will need some work. Rolling our way forward. Now, the reason I have the truck in the shop, other than to show you guys, is to bleed the brakes. Whoever did the brakes forgot to do one thing. When I first drove the truck, it was great, and then the pedal went soft, and the ABS light started flashing like crazy. And the reason it did that is here's the rear anti-lock brake module. Right up there. You'll notice that the bleeder screw hasn't been touched in a little while. That means that the rear anti-lock braking system here, when they bled the brakes, they didn't bleed that. By not bleeding that, we ended up with a soft pedal after about a couple miles of driving. But other than that, we're good. Let's go around to the front. Again, these greasing points right there don't look like they've been touched in a long time. Same thing in the U-joints. So we'll have to change all those greasing nipples and move around and grease the whole chassis. That'll make it last longer for us. Up here, there's a leak somewhere, obviously, probably with the power steering system. As we look up there at the power steering pump, get you in the right angle here. Up here, we'll notice the power steering pump, the underside of it. Actually, that's the air conditioner, but the power steering pump is right above it. It's caked in oil, so probably a power steering leak from a hose at some point. We'll have to fix that because it's all leaking down onto the steering system. The tie rods look actually new everywhere, or relatively new. So we're doing well. Let's go back up top and start bleeding these brakes. Here we are back out of the truck. Now, we had a problem with the brakes feeling spongy, and this rear anti-lock braking unit hadn't been bled. So we bled the two rear brakes. There was air that came out of them. And now let's blade the rear anti-lock braking unit. I have my assistant up top, my cousin, Bruno. Okay, pays. And we have a problem. The screw is a little rounded off. Let's see if I can. So an 8mm wrench is not doing it, and a 7mm wasn't doing it either. So I'm gonna have to get vice grips. Not the best alternative, but I'll be right back. All the bleeders are different size screws. So right now I'm on the passenger side rear, which is the furthest away from the master cylinder, and it is a 10mm bolt. On the other side, it's 3/8. On the RAB system, it's 9/32, which is an odd size. It's not 8mm. It's too small for 7. Or sorry, the screw is too big for 7. Too small for 8mm. It's 9/32, which I don't have an 9/32 wrench. But let's start here. This bleeder screw here. There we go. So put the wrench on it. Put a nice little bleeding apparatus. And putting the wrench on the right way would help. Then we have our assistants. Press on the brake pedal, which will be in French here, base. Relâche. Base. Relâche. Base. Relâche. This bleeder screw is not cooperating. It's probably stopped up, so let me remove the bleeder screw. This will self-bleed onto the floor for a few seconds while I clean out the bleeder screw. I'll be right back. In continuing to try to bleed and bleed and bleed again, just wasn't happening. So, took the drum off to inspect because I know the front brakes are new and I'm not leaking any fluid anywhere. Where my problem was is here. You'll notice there's a part missing. If you know rear brakes, drum brakes, you know that there should be an adjuster there. Well, when I took the drum off, the adjuster was down there because the spring was broken. That means I have to order new parts. So since I'm going to be ordering new parts, we'll make this another video. Since I need to order new parts, we're going to make this another video. We'll finish this off for today. Thanks for joining me for the inspection of our truck and trying to bleed the brakes. We'll come back, we'll replace the rear brakes. I'll order all the parts in. Then from there, we'll rebuild the rear brakes and bleed the system completely one last time. In the meantime, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, leave them below, and we'll see you in the next installment of Rebuilding an Old F-150.